Ben Affleck and Matt Damon star in the latest Netflix original movie, The Rip.
From the outside looking in, it seems simple. Seize the cash, count it, and turn it in.
Taking place over one 24-hour-ish period, Affleck and Damon play two cops in Miami. During what at first appears to be a routine house search, Affleck, Damon and their team, among them Stephen Yeun, Catalina Sandino Marino and Tiana Taylor, come across a lot of money. A lot of money. Drug money, as it seems. And it's money that they weren't expecting to find there. Or were they? What follows is a tense few hours as the team essentially decide what to do. Will they take the money? Are any of them in on it? Time will tell. The Rip is directed by Joe Carnahan, who directed Narc, The Grey and Boss Level, among others. It's also co-written by Carnahan and Michael McGrail. Affleck and Damon are as natural and believable as they always are. It's nice to see them play their age and not pretending to be 25, showing the grey in the beard, that sort of thing. The supporting players, including Kyle Chandler and Sasha Calle, as well as those mentioned earlier, also come across well, especially Sasha Calle. There's a moment in the movie where I think it's like towards the end of the first act where her tone and her demeanour shifts. It's subtle, but it's very effective, and I think, she's got a monologue in there where I think she's not the lead in the movie by any stretch, but she's definitely got a standout scene, a standout moment, and a kind of a scene-stealing monologue, as it were. Scott Adkins is also in the movie. He's got a very small role. It's a glorified cameo, to be honest, but it's always great to see him on screen. There's a scene where he and Affleck get into a bit of a scuffle, and Affleck's character kind of comes out on top, if I remember rightly. And given Adkins' real-life background, that did make me chuckle a little bit. The Rip might not be reinventing the wheel, but it's a pretty good cop thriller. It's under 2 hours. Yes, it's okay for movies to be under 2 hours. In fact, for the most part, it's kind of preferable. It's got a modern, clean, organic, digital look to it. The exterior nighttime shots look great. It's not too dark, not too grainy. The score as well. I wasn't familiar with the work of, I think it's, what's the name, Clinton Shorter. I wasn't familiar with his work before. He's the credited composer, but the score really did stand out at times. It's got a bit of a slow build to it, and then it pops at times in a good way. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking out his work now that I've heard his work in this movie. I am, however, familiar with Joe Carnahan's work as a director. I vividly remember watching, I don't know if it was his very first movie, but I think it's definitely one of his first movies. It's a movie called Narc. It's a cop drama starring the late, great Ray Liotta and Jason Patric. It actually just got a 4K release last year, which is worth picking up. I think it's from Arrow Video. Yeah, Narc, cop thriller, Ray Liotta, Jason Patric. It's got one of the best opening scenes, of all time. Honestly, if I was to do a top 10 all-time opening scenes, Narc would be in that top 10, maybe even the top 5. Definitely check out Narc if you haven't seen it already. After Narc, there was Smokin' Aces with Ben Affleck. There was The A-Team with Liam Neeson along with The Grey, also with Liam Neeson, and Boss Level from a few years ago, starring Frank Grillo and Mel Gibson, which is criminally underrated. That's a more light-hearted tone to that movie. It's kind of, it's got a Groundhog Day action vibe to it. Groundhog Day meets Kill Bill. Anyway, I don't want to do a review of Boss Level, but Boss Level is bloody brilliant and very, very underrated. All those movies I just mentioned are absolutely worth your time, but if you only pick one of them, definitely check out Narc. Narc is brilliant. Anyway, back to The Rip. It's a straightforward, serious tone. Something that I really liked about it is it doesn't spoon-feed the audience the plot. There's no extraneous exposition. There's none of this second screen writing where the characters pretty much narrate to each other what's happening, what's about to happen, what happened in the previous scene. It's a case of show, don't tell, which is what movies should be. Characters don't need to be narrating what they're doing at any moment. Just show the audience what's happening, show the audience clues, let us piece things together. We don't need to hear inner monologues. We don't need to hear extraneous inner monologues. We don't need to hear and see characters, tell each other the plot. Show, don't tell. If there was one slightly negative thing I would say about it, and it's not even a negative, I kind of was hoping for a little bit more action. I think the trailer maybe sold it as a bit more action-y than it ended up being. Don't get me wrong, there is action in there. The last 10 minutes definitely delivers. There's a chase/shootout scene that actually reminded me of Narc in the middle. I would have just liked another 1 or 2 action scenes in there, but again, that's me just really nitpicking, and that's maybe more of a marketing thing because the trailer made me think that there'd be more action in it. But yeah, not a huge negative, just something that popped into my head. As I said, this is a Netflix movie, and it's only a Netflix movie. No cinema release, no physical media. Well, probably no physical media. I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and outs and the nuances of the modern film business, but I mean, this is a cop drama starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon from a proven director. There's no cinema release. There'll probably be no physical media. 15 years ago, this would have 100% got a cinema release, and even if it didn't set the box office on fire, there would have been the DVD release, 6, 9, 12 months down the line. I think Matt Damon actually discusses this aspect of the film business on his episode of Hot Ones about, how the death of DVD has affected the movie business.
The DVD was a huge part of our business, of our revenue stream. And technology has just made that obsolete.
I'll link to that below in the description if I can find it on YouTube. Now, I'm not hating on Netflix. I'm a happy Netflix subscriber. I happily pay for Netflix every month. Myself and my whole family use Netflix on a pretty much daily basis. I'm glad this movie got made, and we've got Netflix, along with Affleck and Damon's company, Artists Equity, to thank for that. They're the ones who put this movie on screen for us. But it's just on screen for us. It's just on that home TV. It's just on that Netflix screen. And that's kind of, I don't know, it just makes you kind of reminisce and want for a bygone era, I guess. Maybe I'm just old because, I love cinema and I love physical media. This is the kind of movie I would absolutely have seen in the cinema and bought the DVD. I mean, a commentary track on this with Joe Carnahan, the director, with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, that would be gold, especially with Ben Affleck's track record on commentaries. If you haven't listened to his Armageddon DVD commentary track, it's brilliant. That would be great. So that's probably not going to happen because it's Netflix, so we're probably not going to get a physical media release. So yeah, maybe the filmmakers and the cast could do a wee Zoom commentary track. That would be awesome. Something also worth mentioning along the business side of this movie is something that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have been talking about when they've been doing press for this movie. I'm not sure of the correct terminology, but it's kind of like, in my mind, it's akin to almost like a profit share thing they've got going on with this movie. They've mentioned it in press these last few days about how if the movie does certain numbers on Netflix, then the entire crew, I think 1,200 plus people, will get a bonus or will get a profit share or something like that, which is not usually how it's done on streaming services, as I understand it. So, yeah. I don't know what those numbers are, and as I said, I don't know if profit share is the right term to be using, but I think it's a commendable effort, and yeah, definitely worth mentioning in the review for the movie. So, The Rip, it's on Netflix now. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. As I said, it's not reinventing the wheel, but what it does very well. It's Training Day meets Triple Frontier meets Narc. Did I mention how good Narc was? It's a well-written, well-acted, taut, tense cop thriller that comes in at under 2 hours. It is definitely worth a watch. That's us, folks. Thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.